All right, YouTube. Hello. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. One more day till my kids start school. So
Yeah,
I'm
I mine
excited
have
for
like
that.
3 more weeks.
That's nice for them.
Yeah. It's nice for me too, but it's weird that everyone, like all of our friends' kids are going back to school. So if you're watching, let us know when your kids go back to school.
Yes.
Just get the chat woken up. Let us know if you're watching live or in the replay. Um, and yesterday on the Bible study, we were talking about how to have patience with aligning when aligning with God's will. And and then today we were thinking, because after we got off the call, I was asking, I was kind of chit-chatting with ChatGPT. For those who don't know, if you're new here, that's what I call her, what we call her. Um, and I was talking about like the feeling of the enemy um trying to like rush us. So today we're going to be talking about resisting the enemy's rush in the wait. So, Cheryl, does that bring up anything for you?
Uh, I guess a lot of things. But like having patience in the process, that's the other part of it. That we go through life. Like I've just been taking it all in, um, going through life. But like yesterday, I was talking to you about like how I can do like so much more now versus before when I would just like be excited that I got out of bed for one thing for the day. I'll say like a car wash, that would be like one thing. But now getting to stack all the things, but not doing it for like the check boxes, but just doing it because you feel like doing it. Um, and I think that's part of like resisting the enemy's rush is that sometimes we think we have to do things on everyone else's timing, but really God works out of time, and I think that has been so helpful in just like living life.
Yeah. I feel like that might be going somewhere for a podcast episode.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I was like, I could totally derail this whole conversation by just asking her more questions, but I'll save them.
You could derail. I'm
Well,
I'm good with the
derail.
derail.
You're good with the derail. Okay. Well, I was gonna say, um, when you were saying like getting out of like just doing the one thing to get out of the bed, like out here, where we live, it is like, and I know in a lot of other places, especially in the United States, but um, out here where I live is like gray a lot of the times. But even when it's sunny like this, there's a tendency sometimes to like just be that like so introverted or probably also lack of vitamin D. So I
Mm.
don't know, my brain was totally not even going on the God topic with the questions. That's why I
Yeah.
didn't really want to derail, but
Yeah, and I live in a place where it's sunny 24/7 and I didn't even want to go outside um just because I didn't want to, period. Like there was not even like do I have to? Like but I got myself outside to walk with the baby to get some vitamin D but not knowing that I needed it or it was just because I needed to just start just walking and start getting out of my funk because
mhm.
I use movement to get out of my funk. So that's why I love to work out. That's why I love to like do all that stuff because it got me out of like the funk of the junk that was in my head. But I was replacing that junk with personal development and which is not junk, but it's just not as fulfilling as going into the word and all that stuff. So I love that we get to walk with Jesus, and we've called this Walk with Jesus since we started that journey with Jesus. And I can't wait to do that again this upcoming season, and it's gonna start earlier. And so just getting out there to walk has helped me start. It just started. So, and it started with filling my cup with all different things, not the things that I gathered over the years.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that that is one thing I know too, which I'm not the type to push myself to just get outside or to move my body. The older I get, actually, the worse it's gotten. But I'm not claiming that. I'm
Stop it.
working with it. I know. I'm just identifying it so that I can pivot into the next statement, which is when I do get myself moving. And I think that this is being called to us because there's probably someone that's going to watch this that's going to need to hear that like they're not alone in how they feel, and whether they're like you and they know that moving their body is like what gets them out of the funk, so that's where their go-to is, or if they're like me where it's not their go-to, but then you can do it even if it's only just one time to like, okay, fine, I'm just going to do it one time, but then you do it the one time and you almost always prove to yourself that God is with you in those moments. And that's what I will say is that when I do move my body and get out, I feel so good. So whenever, if you find yourself, if you're watching this and you find yourself in either one of those places, if especially if you're in the place where I kind of feel like I've teetering towards, which is so odd because it has been so sunny here. Like literally it's only rained one day since before August, like since before Cheryl came and at the end of July, it only rained the one day she left.
He
So,
was crying for me.
I know it was. But if you find yourself in that position, like even if you can't like tell yourself about the reward out of it, maybe it's the seeking Jesus in the moment that can help push you into that and realizing like for me, I'll go for walks and sometimes I'll even have like my earbuds or my headphones, but I won't even turn them on. Or sometimes I'll have them in my pocket thinking I'm going to turn it on, but then I just let myself get lost in the beauty of like the fact that that little bunny rabbit just hopped out at that very moment, or that that bird flew over, or in where I live, I can see mountains and or mountainous islands and water. So just trying to look for God in those moments where you feel like alone, or like the enemy might be calling you towards, drawing you towards that recluse, like introvert style. Um, I think that that is just a little statement that God wanted us to put out there for you guys today.
Yeah, and the enemy definitely wants you alone so he can have your thoughts. And but remembering, I just scratched my face. Remembering what would Jesus do? Like, and we have that example of what he did, and what he, like what you could do. Like he went to prayer, he went to communion, he went to a party. Like he's like, I just want to be in the joy.
Yes.
I love that we get to do that. Especially we live in a world with like there's tons of people, and maybe you're scared to like talk to people. That's me. But like if and Sunny backstage. But yeah, like it's it's gonna be okay. And if they don't talk to you, they don't talk to you. It's just it's reminding me of my daughter and her like now she's texting on her watch, and she's like, what do I say? And I'm like, be nice, but you don't have to be super nice. I don't know. Like that's tough too. Like some people you don't know what people are fighting on their side and what enemies or what enemies they're fighting. So like you have to be, I think, being kind, like Jesus was kind to like every single person, like and even people coming up to him like saying hi, don't even know who you are, but you seems kind of cool. So you never know, like you could be coming up to someone and you're like, I like their vibe, I just don't know why, but say hi.
Kind of like these two chicks that are talking to you right now. Like, At the time, we would have never thought that they would have like matched up, but they matched up. They
Yeah.
had similar energies, but lots of differences. And I like to do that that's really easy for me to do with other people, which I'm not saying it always has been, but to like whenever you're experiencing something that from someone, like Cheryl said, you don't know what enemies they're fighting, you don't know what their history is. And it's funny because now God is like revealing this in my brain. Probably one of the earlier reasons why I started doing that was I was a waitress and I would get in the weeds, like, which if you're not in the restaurant industry, you don't know what that means. You'll have all these tables and all these orders, and you're like, you feel like you can't stay on top. Like, you're like, I gotta run and get their
Mm.
drink and their refill, and then the order's coming out. So,
Resisting the enemy's rush.
yes. Yeah, for real.
So
It
then,
really, it
so then what
was.
did you do?
Take a deep breath, ask for help, like, but what that led to with me was when I would go out to eat, I was way more observant of what tables that the server is talking to and like if they were in the weeds or not. And so I was even able to mediate for them without them ever even knowing when I'm with family who's impatient and irritated that their drink didn't get filled like the second they stopped drinking it. So I'm like, yeah, but look how many tables he or she is like running right now. Like she's got this whole section and I'm like, man, they just keep seating her, like, so I'm like,
Yeah.
so I was able to give grace more. And I do think that that's a beautiful point back to Jesus is that he was able to be kind, but also to know, like, stand firm in himself. And
Mm.
so even when the religious leaders were like challenging him, he wasn't necessarily the most kindest there, but he was also not as mean as he could have been, right? Like
Yeah.
he was very direct and very secure is the better word I like to use with how I viewed him like showing up. And so we have 3 points we wanted to kind of share with you before we head backstage. If the enemy is trying to rush you in this moment, the first point, Jesus, because we're on these Wednesday calls, like Cheryl was talking about, we use Jesus as examples to guide us in whatever our theme is for the week. And so the first one is from John chapter 7, verses 1 through 8. I'm not going to read them all, but Jesus's brothers urge him to show himself publicly. And I'm thinking at this point, it's probably the disciples that is being called brothers. And he replies, my time has not yet come.
Mm-hmm.
And so he knew the pressure to prove himself. So if you've ever felt the pressure to prove yourself, put a one in the chat, put a one in the comments, or tell us pressure to prove myself.
Yeah, he kept telling them like, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. And I don't know when, but I'm gonna die, and you'll know when that happens. But like being a disciple, okay, like
Well, they're
he's
also
telling us
like,
this.
yo, bro, you can take care of this. He's like, yeah, but it's not.
Yeah,
Even his mom at the wedding, she's
yeah,
like, baby boy, they're out of wine.
yeah.
And he was trying, at first, he's like, not so, but then he gets in alignment with God. So the enemy will often use impatience to try to speed us up before God's appointed time. And think about David, which we've been talking about David so much. I don't even know the whole story, you guys, but the little pieces I know, he was told from a very young age he was going to be king. So he got the anointing well before he got the appointing, like the actual, like, you are King David. And so all that other stuff in the middle had to happen.
Like
So
the
whenever you're,
worldly appointing. Yeah,
yes, but also godly appointing, because he wasn't there yet. He just had like a preview, if you will, like, hey, this is
yeah.
what's coming on you. And and so I like to try to remind, like, okay, just be aware, not expect for it, but when we feel like the enemy is trying to speed us up, like my number one thing right now with myself and personal experiences I'm going through is like, I'm gonna go ask Chatty what verses tell me what to do in this situation. And so, like, And then I go read those verses with the action, well, my phone or the actual Bible, like this Bible or the digital Bible, and I read it for myself. And I really do believe that that's important because it's a living, breathing word, and you're going to receive what you need in that moment. Did you want to add on anything there?
No.
Did you want to go with the next ones or no?
The wilderness temptations were timing tests.
Yeah.
Turning stones to bread, meeting your own needs now. Throwing himself from the temple, force God's hand now. Taking the kingdoms without the cross, skip the suffering, get the glory now. He could have had it all, like, but if he didn't go through those tests, I don't know if he could endure all the things that he went through. Because this is like the refining, like, and the learning and all the things. And I thought about what we have, like what we've came to with the real missing piece. Like we came from doing network marketing and investing in personal development and all these different things that kind of shaped how we've created the real missing piece of like if we didn't go through all those times, how could we ever have the idea of what we're doing? Like God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, they all guided the way we've come to this place. And like us going live easily on YouTube, like, okay, let's go live. Okay, let's like God is preparing you for whatever you are going to be doing in life. And like if I didn't believe that, I wouldn't use all the things that he's given us that we didn't know what we were doing it for necessarily. But now it feels like, okay, everything's aligning, everything's moving forward. It doesn't mean that it's not going to change because we've been so flexible in what we've been creating because we just know but by using all of our experiences that was our wilderness.
Yeah.
I would say like we don't have to go in the middle of the desert to face a tornado or a whirlwind, whatever that was. We don't have to go through the like a valley of snakes, like, but we could have. Like you don't know,
Thank
like that could
God.
be
Please no.
figuratively or literally.
Please no.
So like we get to have the Bible and we get to have these stories, but we have to remember, like get reminded that it did happen and believe that it did happen. All we have to do is like believe, trust, like and activate like all these things. But this is like what we have created together because of our experiences. But so maybe like look into that's what we kind of were doing before, like reflecting on what we've done and like saying that we're taking no L's, but we're going to use that towards our future. Like I'm sure there's something in your life where what you have done, what you have been through, that's going to propel you forward to God's alignment and God's timing. So I don't even know the words I just said, but
Holy Spirit. Yeah, that's actually like that's the point number 3, which is delay is not neglect, it's divine strategy. So it's on purpose by God. And so if we were like not in I mean, it's funny because you don't even have to be, this is, I think, the biggest message for me. You don't even have to look and be and act the way you think you have to look and be and act for God to work in and through you. You have to just be like 1 milligram of I don't even know the smaller than that, like,
just mustard seed.
yes, a mustard seed size, which if you've never looked at it, go look it up. It's very teeny tiny, like can fit like inside of your teeth.
And the kids yesterday were like, mustard is a fruit because it has seeds. So I was like, okay.
Okay. Whatever you say. But realizing like God wastes nothing and your waiting is not wasted. So okay, God. And like Cheryl was saying, like use that time when you start to notice and observe it to say, bring God in, get closer with him. Don't pull farther away. I don't know why the world has a tendency to do that, but like sometimes people like retreat unto themselves. And if I've
Yep.
learned anything in these last
Well, because the enemy likes when you're
I
alone.
know. And
Yes.
the enemy likes when you're alone and when you're in your thoughts because that's the
That's where he
realm.
works.
Yes. So like when you're just quietly sitting inside your thoughts, like you don't even know the potential damage that is happening. But
Hmm.
um looking and using that time, bring God in, say a prayer.
Put some music on. Put some worship music on. That's
Yeah,
like,
and there's times where honestly I'm like I can't even do the music right now.
yeah.
But even just holding the space, like yesterday after the call, I was still like just thinking and asking, inviting God in to work in me, um, to show me like, okay, God, help me to see what is happening, where to go. Speak to me, whether it's through verses or things you drop into my head, which ended up being both. Um, but and I probably yesterday was probably one of the days I did stay more quiet in my head, but it wasn't just me there. I was inviting God down. Like God is above the enemy spiritually. So like when you bring God in, even if you're gonna if you're gonna stay in your thoughts, make sure you bring God in. Make sure you're like expand like getting the devil out of them, which I did do in certain moments yesterday. And and then, like Cheryl said, like whatever you can do to change, I think that we've been gifted science for a reason. And there's so much knowledge and like on the benefits of physically changing state, physically changing something, standing, breathing, like our new power pose, which is like just Jesus on the cross, right? Like if you are like, okay, the enemy feels like it's attacking me. I feel alone. Put your arms out to the side. Look your head up like this and then just like close your eyes and imagine like Jesus and invite you just speak Jesus. I speak Jesus. Bring Jesus. Jesus come. And if this is and this is another thing, one more tip and then we're going to go back to stage. If you're feeling the urge to resist the negativity, whatever form of that it is. Instead, be willing to tell God, like, all right, I'm done. I'm not going to resist this. It's not what I want, but if it's in accordance with your will, please help me to see how it's shaping me, how it's helping me as quickly as humanly possible. So that's one bonus tip from me to you if you find yourself in that state. And it really helped yesterday. Like whenever I was sitting with the Bible and I was kind of watching, I was kind of ping-ponging. Honestly, I was ping-ponging between like notes and chat and the Bible and then a video and another video. And then all of a sudden, it was like, grab the pen and this is from me. I didn't
Yeah.
even ask the question. It was from him. So, any last thoughts before we hop off YouTube?
No, I'm just excited that we continue to get to walk with Jesus, and those bracelets that said what would Jesus do like finally make sense. So that's kind of why I wanted to edit it.
Yes. What would Jesus do? Just remind yourself and bring him in and consult the Bible, however that works for you. All right, you guys, we will see you next week. Bible studies on Tuesdays, Walk with Jesus live on Wednesdays. We do have our VIP $11 only. You get how many? You get 5 days. You get the VIP and the lives.
Hmm.
So I don't even know how long that ended up being, an hour and a half or more every
A
day for
lot,
5
yeah.
days, plus the Bible study, plus the Thursday activation call. So,
Yeah. And
so much
then also
goodness.
our founders price. I think we posted this. It's a last chance to join us at our founders price. So if you want more information on that to be part of our ambassador circle, so you could be backstage with us and grow with us, grow in faith with us, we welcome you to that too.
Yep. All right. Just reach out. We're real humans. Have an amazing, blessed week, and we'll talk to you next week.